Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of A Cure for Wellness. Sorry, had to take my daily vitamin. But we received these awesome, cool little vials at my screening that I attended for A Cure for Wellness, and they play a pivotal role in the film itself. So now that I'm feeling a bit better, let's go ahead and proceed with the review, shall we? The trailers for A Cure for Wellness looked pretty awesome. I thought that the whole concept looked cool. Everything about it just screamed like high concept, awesome thriller/horror movie. And in the end, I think it pretty much lived up right to that billing. Starting with the cast, I think that Dane DeHaan was perfect for this role. He pulls off really kind of weird and creepy really well, just naturally. So obviously he was going to play that whole aspect of his role really, really well. I think he was a little bit more shaky when it came to like strong, arrogant businessman, but thankfully for the most part he's not asked to do too much of that, and we get Dane DeHaan right in his element. I also thought that Mia Goth was wonderful. She has to play a really odd, eccentric character, but one that is extremely important to the entire plot and movement of the story, and I thought she pulled it off really, really well. Jason Isaacs was also really good in the role. I think he plays that like stern doctor very well. And then Celia Imrie was definitely the standout for me amongst the minor cast. I thought she was wonderful. I wanted more time, actually, with her character in the hospital. But overall, I thought the acting was really solid, and it was aided by a really solid script. I think that the story keeps you on edge. It moves at a really nice pace throughout, and there are just enough twists and turns leading up to the big finale that keep you off track of what is actually going to happen. I did figure it out a bit before we got to the end, but I think they at least keep you guessing enough that you're never solid in your prediction moving toward the end. But also, the cinematography and direction in this movie are just fantastic. The cinematography in particular, there are a few scenes in this film that are simply breathtaking, and honestly, the cinematography in this movie just period is amazing. But there are like 4 scenes here, including a really amazing train scene and some landscape scenes, some beautiful shots of like dancing, and just a lot of really amazing camera work in this movie. So if it didn't excel in anything else, it excelled so well when it came to the cinematography, and I think the direction was really solid as well. Not only from that whole cinematography, camera work angle, but also I think that the director did a great job of creating suspense and creating a wonderful atmosphere. We were in this really creepy place the entire time, and while there aren't a lot of outright scares to get you, I think the atmosphere and the story itself, the script, are so good that it keeps you involved and it keeps you feeling creepy and kind of gross and like on edge the entire film. Plus, there's a great kind of world building and mythology building that happens in this film. There are some twists and turns that I don't think are easy to forecast at all, while others I think you can see coming from a bit away. So when does the movie not quite cure your horror itch? Honestly, I think that the entire end jumps the shark a little bit. Once again, we get some beautiful scenery work in that ending, and that's where one of the best like overhead shots of a dance sequence takes place that is just stunning. But I think the concept in the end just went overboard. I figured out at least half of the twist long before we got to the actual revelation point in the film, but I didn't know exactly how it could have happened, honestly. And then when we get there, it just goes full on like crazy sauce ridiculous mode. So it's a literal jumping of the shark moment where I think the movie turns in its suspense and eeriness and creepy world building for full on just ridiculous scary movie type thing. And while it does stay kind of fun in its craziness, it also gets like kind of gross and ugh as well. So the ending just was a little bit too much for me. I wasn't quite on board with the last act. There's also an aspect to the process in this hospital that I don't think they actually explained at all. Obviously, this is a non-spoiler review, so I'm not going to go into it, but they show a scene that sort of explains it and sort of shows what's happening, but we never actually get any sort of explanation to the mental state that follows that. So I can't really discuss that. I'm not going to really delve too much more into this type of thing because they are huge spoilers that I think you should avoid. But it's not fully explained properly. But overall, I loved A Cure for Wellness. I think that this is a great addition to the horror and thriller genre. It's a good throwback to like old 70s style horror movies that I think is just fantastic. It's following a trend that I've noticed really start to take off in the last year or so of high concept horror that doesn't add in jump scares just for the sake of having a jump in there, or cheap scares in general. They really work to build the atmosphere. They work to create this creepy world for you to reside in for 2 hours and then execute that to a T. And I think this film gets it right. So I have to say I'd give A Cure for Wellness a full price ticket. So that has been my review of A Cure for Wellness. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see A Cure for Wellness? And what is your favorite 70s horror film? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!